Hello everyone and welcome to another New World video. My name is Brian if you're new to the channel, but if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much for checking out today's video. This video, we're going to dive into New World's update 3.0.3. This is the patch notes. This is also going to be reintroducing Turkilon back into the world. And if you haven't ever got to experience the Turkilon fight, this is something that you want to definitely make some time for. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, if you need anything, just sound off in the comments below. I'm working on some guides and so much more, and hopefully we'll be actually bringing back some New World streams just as a FYI. Be sure to check the links in the description if you're interested in any of all that, and also check out the Instagram account that I've been running. I've been challenged by my fellow comedians to grow over there as well, and so if you guys use Instagram, you don't mind giving it a follow, I'd appreciate it, but no worries outside of that. Let's get into it. Greetings, adventurers. New World's update 3.0.3 downtime is going to be at 11 p.m. Pacific time on November 14th. This is going to last approximately 1 hour. A tournament survived the hauntings of the night in Valhalla, but a familiar foe is back for revenge, Turkilon. Check out the full release notes in this video, or you can use the link in the description if you want to go read it for yourself. The Dark Legion invades the store this month. Special skins for those who have abandoned the code of chivalry are now available. Smite your opponents. Blood runs cold at the sight of you whenever you visit the store for special promo bundles featuring unvaulted content and brand new skins, including the Gale Keeper bundle, the Azoth Arcana bundle, and the Marauders and Brawlers bundle. Select housing items and tool skins are also 50% off for a limited time. You can fight Turkilon for the Grand Gobbler, satisfy your hunger and carnage for the succulent Grand Gobbler Warhammer when Turkilon returns on November 15th through the 28th. Hunt down the Feathered Avenger of Death and his foul army to earn unique and event-specific items. Thanks to player feedback from last year, loot will now drop more frequently, and there's also even more desirable awards like a giant turkey leg awaiting to be served. So let's get into the notes themselves. Specifically for the world, added a tag and an item or a named AI to ignore the spawn scaling effect, lowering the spawn rate of the Dayspring tree point of interest. They also adjusted spawns for the Staff of Wizardry encounter to prevent stalls when a new enemy appears. For expeditions, they fixed an issue that caused gatherables to not appear in Starstone Barrows. For global mutators, they fixed an issue where enemy account in Dynasty Shipyard, it is now 60, and they fixed an issue with Guldar not counting towards the named enemy count in the depths. For the combat changes for artifacts, Scorpion's Sting added a trade-off to the Sting perk, increases cooldown by 50% upon use. For Lost Stopwatch, changed duration from 100% increase to a flat 1 second increase. The increased damage reduction rate trade-off is going to be from 5 to 10%. For Odo, they updated functionality to include that the damage bonus applies to be knocked down targets. For diseased status effects, all player diseases added an outgoing healing penalty to all disease status effects to equal to half of the incoming healing reduction. Plagued crits, plagued strikes, plagued splitting grenade, infected throw, purifying scream, PvP arenas healing reduction. That's a pretty big significant change in my book. Plagued crits remove the health requirement. It can now be refreshed while active. Plagued strikes, it can now be refreshed while active. For the perks, Shrieking Heals increase cooldown from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. Splash Physical Ward absorptions updated all physical ward and slash ward gems and perks to include bleed damage as a part of the slash damage to function similarly to other dots. The Exhaustive Net Shot reduced the duration from 8 seconds to 4 seconds. For the Blunderbuss, they increased base damage from 3.75% in PvE and reduced some of the base damage in PvP by an additional 3.62% to keep PvP damage the same. The Last Chance passive reduced from 50% to 30% Fortify. On a roll passive made it so that each stack has its own unique duration. Primary Fire reduced damage coefficient from 23% per pellet to 21% per pellet, and ASB reduced damage from 50% per pellet to 45% per pellet. For the Life Staff, Splash of Light getting a pretty big debuff here, reduced radius from 100 meters to 25 meters, and I think they actually increased it to 100 meters to offset something, so it looks like it has probably been returned to its normal length, which isn't horrible, but man, 100 to 25. Woo. Anyway, Void Gauntlet, Void Blade, remove duration of limit of the Void Blade, now remains active until weapon becomes inactive. They fixed an issue that caused several staggering attacks to not trigger the increment for the breakout dodge. They fixed an issue when attacks that didn't stagger but intentionally incremented the breakout of the dodge themselves. For the PvP reward track name items, fixed an issue that prevented certain named PvP item upgrades. To address the added new versions of the PvP reward track named with the 5th generated perk. Unlike the originals, these new named items can be upgraded at the Gypsum Kiln to make it easier for adventurers to distinguish between the two. The old PvP reward track name items no longer have the named tag. For economy, they disabled the ability to use Secrets of the Spores potions in Arena PvP. They disabled Artemis's boon status effects when joining Arena PvP instances and non-Savage Divide expeditions. They updated the description for the Azoth instructor to further clarify. For the Chromatic Ward, they fixed an issue that prevented this perk from working properly. They fixed an issue where if you crafted multiple items and one became named item, you would not receive the other items. They also fixed an issue that caused beast hordes to drop loot at a lower than intended gear score. They adjusted the aptitude crates the player can purchase in the faction shop at rank 6. These chests no longer reward 2 to 3 rare tier 5 materials. They now offer 60 to 120 tier 5 raw materials instead. They fixed an issue that caused mithril rings and earrings to not function as intended. For game modes, they fixed a rare issue that caused war instances to not start properly. Simultaneous influence races will be enabled on Albion as a part of the test. And for the UI, they fixed an issue that caused bundles with items locked in Raise the Angry Earth to overlap the text on top of the bundle cost when viewing the store. Players that do not own, for the players who do not own the expansion, fixed a rare issue that crashed the game when viewing results for influence races that includes more than 20 companies. The auto pin toggle for town project missions and artifact objectives now works properly. They fixed an issue that caused certain dyes to be unusable, fixed dye issues with the following skins: the Black Spire, the Penitent Assassin, and Somber Legionnaire. They fixed visual issues for skirts, cloths, and other skin colliders. And they say thank you guys so much for the support, and they'll see you in Eternum. So, all that being said, just a standard every other week patch. We're seeing the dev team really kind of get back into its stride. Obviously, Season 4 is right around the corner, and obviously it's going to be a massive amount of misses that we're going to just have to wait to see how that rolls out over the course of the next couple months. So hopefully you got something good out of this. I personally am excited for the future, like especially when it comes to controller support, especially when it comes to some of the things like cross-world, cross-server expeditions and the group finder. I think those are going to be really, really impactful, and not necessarily will I see that actually having as big of an impact day and date when they come out, but when we start looking towards 2024 and the next expansion and essentially the next kind of hype cycle, having some of these systems in place is going to be a huge win for the overall community. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know what you think about the patch notes, if there's anything exciting, anything that stands out to you that's very frustrating, or if you have any videos, topics, and things like that you'd like me to explore in future videos. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and I hope you have a most wonderful day. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, but until then, take care.